Okay, so we are going to start with the pivot. Okay, so what are the pivots first of all? Um, Pivots basically, guys, we use when you have a data and you want to make the reports out of that data. You want to basically bring out something very relevant, and and you want to make the dashboards. You make the summary. Want to make the summary reports, or maybe you want to give a sort of tool which, if somebody wants to, by just going to the drop down options, by just going to the filter options, if somebody wants to see the performance, maybe date on date, year on year, quarterly, or maybe some region wise, city wise, as you can see in this screen, so they can do that very easily. Okay, now in this data, first of all, understand what is the data. So we have the order date, we have the region, we have the city, we have the category, we have the product, and we have the quantity, and then we have the total price. Okay, so we have the different dates. Basically, you see this is your 3rd of January 2013 and so on. So you have 10th of January, you have 17th of January, you have 24th of January, then you have 14th of February. So we have different dates. Okay, and it's from 2003 and 13, and then yeah, so it's just the 2013 data, let's say, but different months are coming. Like this is your December, 5th of December, this is your 12th of December, right? So the regions are also there. We have east, west, and maybe something else as well, who knows. But right now I think this data holds only east and west. Then you have the city. In the city you have, these cities, US cities, Boston, Los Angeles, all that. And the category is also there. We have some, commodity, crackers, cookies, bars, all that stuff, right? It's like a food shop, for example. And then you have the product also. So in the product further, you have the different products, and then we have their quantity and the total price. So what we are trying to do here is we are trying to keep a record of all the items as and when they are getting sold. Okay, so for example, we can understand, we can take this data in this way, that on 3rd of January 2013, from the region east in the Boston city, and in the category called bars, there is a product carrot which was sold at the price of 58.41 rupees or dollar, whatever you want to call it, and the quantity which was sold in total was 33, right? So as and when the people are selling the product, they are updating this database. Now, what is a pivot? As I said, that pivot can give us the different types of the numbers by producing the different levels of the dashboard. Okay, like in the chart, you saw that charts. What charts basically do? They give you the analysis, but in the form of graphs. Pivot doesn't make the pivot doesn't make the graphs. I mean, you can produce the graphs from the pivots, but pivots generally are used for the dashboards, where you generally don't use their charts. You have the option, but still, apart from the the charts part, the pivot charts part, they are used for the numbers also, to show the numbers in the form of, as I was telling you, the filters, which we will just go and create it, then you'll understand it. But first of all, I want to give you a good picture that what is the need of the pivots, because right now I'm telling that it's for the dashboards, but why the dashboards? I mean, why it helps us in summarizing the reports, what sort of questions it can uh, you know it can answer. So what questions we can ask from this data right now? Now guys, if somebody asks you, for example, your management wants to understand region wise and product wise summary report, they need it. Okay, so basically they are saying that from every region they want to check that what is the product summary. Product summary means product wise, I can say here that the total revenue or the total price, they want to check what is the total price coming from the regions, from the east and from the west, as on date, what is the total business done, right? So that means basically they are saying that from the east, if you just go and select this entire thing, and if you go and check this comes out as 47,000 869, total price, total the rupees or dollar. So in this you have the east also, you have the west also. So maybe you will go and put the filter here, and you say that first you put the east here, and you check what is the east total price, the quantity, the not the quantity but the quantity price, actually the revenue, which is 29,234. Then you go and check for the west one similarly, right? But every time we can't use the filter. The second option is you may go ahead and use the SUMIF. So maybe you can say that SUMIF, and then you use the range. So what is the range? So basically in this range, for example, this is my range. I put the criteria called east. We have learned all these things, right? I put the criteria as east, and then I go in this sum range, which is this sum range, total price. Okay, I select this entire range and I press enter. As you see that the same amount is coming. Then I can go and paste the formula here, and here we can do that west, and you'll get the answer. So in west we don't have sorry, it's actually WEST. So there we go. So this is how, but this is again a formula. I can't see that this in the form of the dashboard, so that's why where the pivot would come into action, right? And also for the reason that tomorrow you may have more regions and you want to maybe check that as well quickly, so every time I write the formula, that's instead of writing the formula, I will make the pivot, because even if somebody who does not know the formulas in Excel, they can make the pivots, because pivots, they don't really use the formulas. You can just drag and drop. It is a drag and drop show, actually. You drag the things and you see that if they're looking good, fine, you keep them there. If they're not looking good, then you just pull them off. That is how the pivot actually works. Now also for the other reason that you guys, you see that you have the top 5 products in terms of quantity. So you want to check that what are my top 5 products I have sold so far. So obviously if you look at this, the carrot, maybe you can again go and use the SUMIF, but just understand then you have to use the SUMIF for all these items one by one, right? So maybe let's say there are so many items here. So if I want to check arrowroot, so you see that arrowroot has it has been sold with a different number of quantities on the different dates. So basically I'm interested in checking the total quantity, which is right now coming as, if I see the sum of this is actually 3251, right? And similarly then you go and check this, let's say for the banana, again you go and click here and you check. Now this is going to be 154 if you total this. Okay, so that sort of thing pivot can do that in seconds for us, right? So we will go and check all these things. Quarterly performance, very important. Your company wants to check that how we are growing quarterly. Quarter 1 means Jan to March, and then April, May, June will be a quarter 2, and then July, August, September will be a quarter 3, and then October, November, December will be a quarter number 4. Then you have the top 3 cities in total price. So maybe you want to check that, alright, so what are my top 3 cities from where I'm getting the maximum revenue? Okay, so these are all the things we are trying to go and develop the pivot, and we are going to we will try to answer these questions one by one. So first of all, one thing you need to understand, that when you create the pivot, okay, there has to be no blank header. For example, if you look at this data carefully, I have kept column B and C hidden. Okay, so if I just go and unhide it, we see that this column has a header and this column does not have a header. In the pivot, if you don't have a header, pivots will not get created. If you have a header but you have a blank data like this, that is not the problem, right? But if you have a blank header, then the pivot will create a problem. For example, right now if I just go and insert the pivot, well, this we will see little later. First of all, let me just give you the idea how to make the pivot. So I go and delete these unwanted things. I keep my data in the proper structure form. Okay, now how we can make the pivot? Now you use Excel 2007, 10 or 16 or 13. You find this pivot here in the insert option where you have this chart option, right? So we go and click on the insert, guys. Click on the pivot table. This is the box which will come. Now in this box there are a lot of things here. For example, use an external data source also it is coming. This is basically for those areas where you want to bring the data outside the Excel, maybe from you know some another database like MS Access, okay, or any other database, and the data is externally stored. It's not within this Excel, right? So we will not really go and discuss this part. We will just keep this to the table in range, that where is your basically the table, where is your table range. So you see that it automatically selected the entire data, guys. The reason is because when I click on the insert, my cursor, my this mouse, the cell, basically the cell which I selected, that was somewhere here within this table. That's how it is able to capture it. Same way like in the charts unit happens. If you have a selection on any of the data point, when you create the chart automatically picks the data. So it does not matter, even if you keep your option outside this pivot like this and you go in the insert pivot, this comes as blank, so you can go and select the entire table. Control shift right arrow, control shift right arrow, down arrow, right? So that's not the problem really. We can select the data from here. The second question which you see here is, would you like to create the pivot table in the new worksheet or in the existing worksheet? Okay, so I don't want to create that in this sheet. Let's go and create that in the new worksheet. So I'll click on the new worksheet and now I go and press OK. So let's go and press the OK. Now you see that when you press OK, you will get this data, this wizard. This is your wizard, pivot table fields. Pivot table is divided into 4 sections: filter, column, row and value. Whatever you put here from these headers, these are your table headers. Whatever you put here, that will be shown in the form of the filter. Look at this, I'm just dragging it and releasing my button, like the way you drag. You can also click, if you uncheck it, this will be gone. So you can also click and this is gonna come here, right? So right now I don't want this in the row, so I just I can move them from here. I want the date here, for example. So you see that the dates are coming in this filter form. So user can select all the date, and basis that date, when he clicks OK, the data will reflect here. The data will start reflecting here according to the 6th of October. If you're not interested in the date or maybe something else, that's all up to you. For example, you put the city here, guys. You have the city here, all the cities are coming here, right? You can select all the multiple cities also. For example, you just want to select Los Angeles and San Diego, you just click on these buttons. If you want to unselect all the things, you want to make sure that it should be all, you can keep this option all as well. If you want to select one city, you can click that as well. If you're not happy with this filter, no problem, you can go and put them in the rows as well. Look at this. Once you put them here, they are coming in the row direction. So pivot is totally changed now, and that is why I was telling you it is a drag and drop show, nothing else. You put the city here, you have the columns moved here. You can also resize this window, that's okay, right? So if you want to lock it, you can lock it. You can there is an option here, somewhere here I think there is the option move and size. Well, let's talk about that little later, because that's not really so important. But the thing is, this is how you can, just in case if you want to give more space to the Excel spreadsheet, you can give that, you can shrink this. Okay, so normally this is how your pivot table feeds look like. You put them any order, right, and they will start reflecting. Now what is this value part? Now in the value section, if you want to sum, if you want to average, if you want to do any sort of mathematical calculation, you want to find the maximum number, minimum number, then you can put that thing there. So the headers which have numbers, we put them here, like quantity and total price. Okay, so first of all, this is how the pivot gets created. You can close this as well. This is going to be closed. If you want it back, for example, you see that, guys, the moment you get into the pivot, you have this pivot table tools option activated. Now in this tools, pivot table tools option, you have the analyze, you have the design. Both the options are coming here. Okay, otherwise if you just go somewhere else, you don't see those options, right? So these options come when you go in the pivot table area. Remember that sometimes this people forget this thing, and then they wonder, do you know how basically those options were coming? Because you, if you're not going to be within the pivot table, you will not see that pivot table tool option, right? So what you can do, you select this, and then you have the analyze option, design option. We will go into all these options one by one, and we will check under these pivot table tools what all options are coming and how we're gonna work on that. So first of all, I was telling you about the field list. So this is your field list, which is under the analyze option. You just go and click on the field list, and this is coming back. Or maybe you can also right click and you can say that I want to go to my show field list. This is how the field list will come. Simple, because this is actually required, otherwise you will not be able to put the data in the pivot, right? So this is how the pivot gets created. Right now this absolutely looks blank pivot. Let's go to the question number 1 and let us check that what we are supposed to do. So I go on the top, so I go and see that region wise product. So I copy this and I put that question here, maybe here. Okay, so we need the region wise and the product wise the total price summary. So we want the region also, from which region that product belongs to, and then of course the total price. So very simple. Let's go here, let's select that, right click, go to the show field list. The first thing which I want to put is the region. Okay, so where you want to put the region? Let's say I put the region here. You see that we got the region. Great. Now what is the next thing you want to put? Well, I need the product. So product, again I go and put the product in front of the region. You see that I started getting the products as well. Now what is another thing? So I think we need the total price. So this total price we will go and put here. Okay, by default this is always comes as sum. They automatically added, right? So any item which is repeated in the pivot 10 times, it's going to show up here only once, and the 10 times you will find the automatic sum. So this is also how the pivot works. Some people also use this to repeat the duplicate values. If you have a 50 rows and in those 50 rows there are 10 duplicate items, pivot, when you go and put that the header here in the rows, it will remove that duplicate part. So if you want to see the average, maybe you can click on this arrow, you click on this value field setting and count, average, max, whatever you want to do, you can choose that thing from here. Okay, right now we just keep that as sum. So we have the sum here. Now you can see that I got the sum here. So in the east region all these items are coming, and the total is coming there as well. If you want to quickly check the arrow route, for example, because we have just started it, so we want to test, we want to check that whether the results are true or not. So I go and put the filter in the east. So I go and put the filter in the east, and now in the east I go and choose the product called the carrot. Okay, now once you have the product in the okay, maybe carrot, let's say, let me check for the carrot. Now you see that in the east the total sum is coming 6278. So if you just go and sum this entire price, this is what you get, 6278, right? As you can see here, 6278. So pivot actually is working. Pivot has summed all the product items from that city. How easy it is for us. Now let's go to the designing part, because this is little looking, I don't say, I mean, it's not really looking so good, because these the arrow root and banana, these products actually are the different headers, so they should be on the different column instead of showing in the same column. So what we people generally do is we go to the analyze option, the design option, and here we click on the report layout and we keep this in the tabular form, right? So report layout, tabular form. This is how it gets created. Now you see that I have a product header and this is looking much better. If you are using the Excel 2010 and 7, because I'm not sure about the 2013, but in there you don't find this option analyze. there is a change in the header name. However, inside this header we have all the functionalities. All these functionalities are there. I think they have you find their header called layout. Okay, so don't get confused. You'll find all these menus there. So what we did, we converted this into a tabular form. Also, when you converted that, because if I control Z, you see that even my header was also not coming. Not just that this is coming in column A, both the headers, but also if you look at the header path, that is also not showing us the proper header, what exactly it is, what it refers to. So this is all being taken care by my this tabular form, right? This is how it comes. We have the region now, and we have the total as well. This is very interesting, so you can also go and put the freeze pane here. If you do not know the freeze pane, let me tell you, there is an option in the Excel. Now what happens when you have a big pivot, for example, if you go down, you want to keep your headers still there, because when you go down, the data is coming but the headers are not coming. You want that header should be there, right? Because it helps then in looking at the numbers. Sometimes you have so many headers. So what we can do, you can select this cell and you go to the view option, and here you can see that freeze the pane, freeze the top row, freeze the first column. This will only freeze the column, this will only freeze the row. But if you do this, this will keep the row and the column visible, but the rest of the worksheet scrolls. So see yourself, I am clicking on this freeze pane option. Now when I go down, you see that, look at this guys. So your table still remains the same, because the next line, this one is freezed. Okay, so even if I go left to right, I have so many headers. You see that, look at this. Now in this particular thing, my pivot is not working properly. It's basically not able to freeze the items for me. So what I can do, what I'm supposed to do in this case, basically I go and click on the unfreeze option. Okay, unfreeze first. Let's unfreeze it. Now let's do one thing, let's freeze this particular area. Okay, or maybe let us go and freeze this particular area. I select this cell and I say freeze the pane. Now let's go and check that. Look at this, right? So it depends which particular cell you are freezing. From that cell, the previous headers, the rows, columns, whatever it is, they will not move. And similarly, if you go down, it should not move at all. Look at this, the header still remains there. So this is a good option in the pivots. Otherwise also you can use, not just for the pivots. Okay, now this total is very good. I will like to keep it, but sometime if you just do not want this information, for example, then no problem. When you go to the design, before this report layout, you have the subtotal. Okay, you click on the do not show subtotal, it is gone. Now you don't have the total, you have only the grand total. Grand total means the total grand total. If you do not want the grand total as well, then there is a grand total option as well. Off it for rows and the column, on for the rows and the column, on for the rows, on for the column. So what happens right now, if I click on this column, look at this. If I click on the column, this is not gone. If I just go here and click on the on for rows only, sorry, not the on, but I say off, for example, I say off. See this, it is gone. Sometimes it happens you don't want to show the total of the items. The total means the total, this total which is coming for the east as well as the west, right? It is not a subtotal, it is different one. So that way you can off it. If you want the subtotal, you can again say that show all the subtotals at the bottom of the group. For example, you see that the total is going to come again, east and the west, but east and west total will not come until you go back here and you say that in the grand total, I want to make this on for rows and the columns. Okay, now if you click for, let's say, if you click for this, the row, let me click here, you see nothing happens. If I go and click on the on for the column, You see that it is coming, right? Because basically this is the column sum. Okay, we don't have the row sum. How you gonna get the row sum? Row sum basically is nothing when you have multiple items here. If I put, let's say, the total price of something else as well, total price 2, total price 3, total price 4, and you want to sum these numbers as well across rows, so there also pivot forms the total. Okay, so basically you have everything, whatever you want you can do that, you know. And now let's come to the important part, that uh, you can also go and change the template design, because we have a very good template. So you can go to the design and you can choose all these designs. Okay, now guys, pivots generally we keep them raw. We really don't give them the color, especially not our colors, but pivots have some very beautiful color combinations. Generally I don't use all these glittery, you know, colors, because I prefer my pivot to be simple. So maybe I can choose some sort of, you know, this color, let's say this color, or maybe this color, or maybe this color. So I mean, it's all up to you. Okay, so I go and use this color. So this is a good way of showing your pivot. Don't waste your time in coloring the things, because you can manually also color. For example, you're not happy with this total color, this total, you want to show maybe some black color, maybe some dark color, you know. So you have the option. Now you will not go and select this manually and go and, you know, give it a color. For example, you want to give this sort of color, right? You can give this color, of course you can, no problem, and you choose the white font. Now this is good if you have only one or two total, like in our pivot. But just imagine if you have east total, west total, east west total, north south total, and there are different combinations. You will not go, you know, down every time and select that. We can automate it. Let me undo it. How are we going to automate it? So what happens on this pivot, you see, when I go on the extreme side of the border, this arrow sign comes, small arrow. If I click now, it selects the entire area, so I can color in that way. For example, if I go here, I click here, this is going to be selected. If I click here, you know, this is going to be selected. Okay, so this way, I mean, you can do the selection. Now we will never go and select this, that, you know, the total price, because if you click on the total price, this comes from this area, the value, and these values, obviously there's no sense of coloring them, right? In fact, I would say there's no sense of coloring these also. I mean, if you go and color this, you can, but we have, as I said, that you have the good combinations here. You can choose. If you're not happy with color, you can, I mean, you know, change the color from here, that's okay. And there are some more templates as well, right? So colors are already there, but yeah, especially about these things, specifically you want to, you know, make this east total bigger in size. So what you can do, as I said, go to the extreme side of this border. You see, when I click here, all the totals get selected. See this, guys, both the totals are selected, and if you have more totals, they will also be selected. So what I did, I actually went here, and this arrow sign is coming, and I selected this. Now you want to give it a color. I give it a, let's say, white font, and maybe I want to change the font size also. You can do, you can, you know, give it a 12 as well. So this is all up to you how you want to do it. So this is how you can give the colors to the pivot. Okay, now if, let's say, your management says that, look, I'm not happy with this pivot, they want to see these regions maybe column wise. So no problem, you can again go and insert the pivot. Now the last time when I created the pivot, my selection was here, and I said insert, you know, the pivot table. But you don't have to be on this sheet, that's okay. I can create the same pivot from here also. Let's say I say insert pivot. Now obviously there will be no data, you know, you have to tell the data. So you go to the sales sheet, and then you select the data. You select the data, and now the data is selected. You can see the sheet name is also coming. Okay, so this is how I have selected it, and now we have this, we have got this data A32 G83 G383, right? So the data is coming from the sales from this sheet. So once you're done with that, I click OK, and once you click OK, you see that there is another pivot which gets formed here, right? The pivot gets formed here. So again, now what you can do, you can go and put the region here. You can put the region here, and then this time let's try to do something different. Let's put the product here. I think this is also super cool option. In this way also you can see that you have the east and west and the products are here. In this way you can also do, and then you go and put the total price. Obviously here it is sum, and that way guys, you see you can make the pivot, right? So let's go, this is a row label, doesn't look nice. Go to the design, let's go to the report layout and make this as a tabular form. This is done. Now let's go and let's maybe give this formatting, right? I'm just telling you, though I really don't use the dark colors, but this is how the pivot comes into action. So this is also a good option. Now in this particular case, you see, this is what I was talking about. So here you have a sum of the rows. This plus this is 7807, and at the same time you have the sum the column wise as well. This is how it is. This is how it is. So that's how we make the pivot. Okay. Now if you are not happy with this, for example, if you are not happy with this, and you want to change the order, let's say I click on the right click on it, I say show field list, and now what I will do, let's say I'm not happy with this, so no problem, there is no formula, you don't have to worry about anything, there will be no error coming. Let's put the region here, let's put the product here. What a big deal. You see that, guys? This is also good. So you have the regions here, you have the arrows, so this is really wonderful, and so now in this particular case, it would be better if you freeze, use the freeze pane. You can go and freeze the pane so that your east and west, they don't move it. Right now it is moving basis that cell, right? So maybe you can create the pivot in the different sheet. Well, I was just telling you about all these options. Okay, now if you want to delete this pivot, what you can do is you can select this pivot. You can manually also select the entire pivot, but sometimes when the pivot is really big, instead of that, you just select anywhere inside this and go to the analyze option. In your case it would be layout. Here we will have the option called select the entire pivot. So I select the entire pivot, I copy it and I paste value it, Alt ES, right? The paste value, you remember, to remove the formulas, to convert the formulas into value. And now I click OK, and once I'm done with that, I will go and delete this part. This is how you can do it. This is how it is going to be done. So we have all the pivots getting deleted here, right? So you can do that. Now sometime what happens, we really don't, if you have to make the second pivot from the same data, guys, you can also copy the pivot. There's no need to go in the insert. For example, I just go and select this data, entire data. Like the charts can be copied and pasted, we can copy and paste them. In the same way we can copy the pivots as well. So I go and select this data, I copy this and I paste it here, for example, Control V, simple, and then go to its the field list, and in the field list just change that, this thing. Okay, so now I can put the region here because you know it's all about the layout. So you can copy and paste the pivots also, and you can bring the changes there. This is perfectly fine, right? So what you have learned, pivots can be copy and pasted, right? Pivots, how we can delete the pivots? Well, you first, so how to select the pivot? First of all, this is what I want to say, how to select the pivot. The pivots can be selected in the design option, right? In the design we have the option called I think select entire pivot. So when I click here, pivot table tool gets activated. In the analyze, sorry, select and then the entire pivot, right? This is where it is. So this is in the analyze. For me it is analyze, for you it may be a different window if you are using different tab. I mean, if you have this sort of thing, analyze, this is how it is. Okay, so yes, as you saw that copy and paste works in the pivot, copy and paste can happen in pivot, right? And then you also learned the subtotal part. Let me write these words here so that you can remember. Subtotal, you know what is a subtotal? Subtotal is available in the design tab over here, this one, right? This entire area. Do not show subtotal bottom of the group, top of the group. You want to show the total here, or you want to show the total on the top of this, you know, that's how it is, subtotal. So subtotal is there. Subtotal option is there in the design option, design tab. Then you have the grand total option also. Where is the grand total option? The grand total option is here in the grand total, right? So in the design tab we will have the grand total part also coming. Okay, this way. Yes, one important thing, you also saw that it is so important for us to change the layout, tabular form. Again, you have the report layout, and then the tabular form. We don't use the other types generally, but you can give it a try. I find them useless. So this again is available in the design tab, right? You also saw that how to select the, you know, the entire pivot. You just click here like this. This is a different area, so you can select this as well. Obviously this is of no use, but if you have some header which is coming again and again like total, you can go and select that. So this will select all the totals. Now the good part is that anytime if I can go, I can use the filters also. So if your manager wants to see the total, you know, the item banana and cheese or maybe oatmeal, they can do that, not a problem. They want to come back to the original, select all. That's it. It's very easy, right? I'm interested only in the east or west. I can select that. This is how it is. Okay, so that is why I was telling that when you make the pivot, it is easy for anyone. Maybe they don't know the Excel, maybe they don't know the formula, but they can quickly go and choose the different things from here. This is how it is, guys. Okay, now do we have any questions so far? Okay, so now let's go and this is the basically the question number 1. Now let's go and create another sheet. So I go and insert the pivot again. Let's quickly insert the table. I can copy and paste the table pivot as well, but I will again click here, pivot table. Okay, now this time, guys, I'm gonna tell you shortcut key to create the pivot. Okay, so you can press Alt D P. Okay, Alt DP, Alt D and P. This is a shortcut key I use. Okay, you can also use the another shortcut key. For example, when you press, because this Alt DP is a very old shortcut key. I have been using this from Excel 2003. When we you may not even have seen the Excel 2003. So after 2003, when they introduced the 2007 Excel, I mean, what a fabulous change it was. First of all, people like us who were using the Excel 2003 and then the prior versions as well. First of all, it took a lot of time for us to get the hands on, you know, on the Excel 2007, because Excel 2007 was the, I would say, the you know, I think the biggest change in the Excel, in the history of the Excel, because they changed the entire thing. Now, you know, so Excel 2007, Excel 2010, 13, they all look now same. But if you have a chance to ever see Excel 2003, you find that that's actually, you know, it's absolutely different Excel altogether. So now you have everything in the ribbon, but they don't have. In the Excel 2003, you have this sort of Excel without any ribbons. And when you click on the file and when you click on the home, a drop down used to come. And then of course there was no good help on the formatting piece. Like in this case, you saw the pivot table designs are there, the chart designs are there, there are so good designs. But guys, in 2003 it was never that. You have to take the help of the manual colors, right? So that was a drastic change. So why I'm telling you, because Alt DP is the shortcut key. So if I use Alt DP, this is the window. This is the window which comes. Okay. You can also do one thing. If you don't want to use the Alt DP, what you can do, you press Alt key. When you press Alt key, you see your all the menu, these menus get activated. Right? These get activated. We have to go to the N. So press N. When you press N, you see that the pivot table says V. So you press V. When you press V, this window comes. This is the latest window. So I don't, use this option, but you can. I use Alt DP. So I use Alt DP. This is the old window. By default, this will keep your Microsoft Excel list as a database. External data source, as I was telling you, if you want to bring the data from some another external source, maybe from the server where you have some another, you know, let's say the Access database is there, or maybe I'm not sure whether we can bring the data in the SQL. I think we can, of course, because through VBA we can. So definitely you can use this option. Then there you want to bring this, you want to have the multiple consolidation ranges, another pivot table, right? So there are a lot of things actually. So we will not be focusing on all these things. We just keep this Excel list our database. You want to create pivot table or pivot chart, so by default whatever option is there, just keep that. Click on the next. Once you click on the next, you see it has automatically selected the table. If you want to do any changes, obviously you can customize this. So I just go and say next. Now when you say next, you know what happens? This prompt comes. Your new report will use less memory if you base it on your existing report, region sales data sample XLSX pivot table 3, which was created from the same source data. Do you want your new report to be based on the same data as your existing report? If you click yes, you will save memory and your workbook file will be smaller. If you click no, the two reports will be separate. Basically what happened, whenever you create pivot, your file size becomes heavy. The file gets heavier because pivot holds the entire data. For example, let me close this, cancel this. This is the pivot, guys, in front of you. If I just go and email you this pivot like this, I copy this entire pivot, I go to the another worksheet, the workbook, I paste the pivot, I don't have the data with me right now, and I send you this file. Will you be able to use it? Of course you will be. Pivot does not require the data. Okay, data can be with you, no problem. You know the reason? Because pivot stores the data in, you know, within it. If you just go here in the grand total, and if you just go and double click here, you see that the entire data will come. So please don't think that, you know, people cannot have a look on your data. That's very easy. People can double click there and the data will come. So what happens if you have 20 pivots created in a file? Just imagine the kind of the data, because you are using the same data again and again and you're making the 20 pivots of the same data. So naturally guys, all the 20 pivots will hold the data within them, so your file will be definitely going to be heavy. Okay, so well, we have a solution to that, I'll just tell you. But what I'm trying to tell you is that pivot holds this data, and that is why when you create the pivot again, your Excel intelligence, or you can say the pivot intelligence, is so strong that it actually is able to find it out what's gonna happen. Okay, so what happens in the sales data when you go here in this particular thing? Okay, let me remove the filters from here. Oh, sorry. When you go and create the pivot, so what pivot asks you is that pivot says that look, I already have some pivots created from the same data. So if you click yes, you will say memory. Okay, so your workbook file will be smaller. So what happens, pivot, they say that if you're using already, you know, the same data for the different pivots, and this pivot also requires the same data, what I will do, I will keep that, you know, the source, the data in the memory just once, not every time. Okay, and this way your file will be smaller. So if you click no, what happens, the pivot which you will create, that will have a separate, you know, the space in the memory. So it's all up to you what you want to do. It doesn't really impact I mean unless you have a data in, like, you know, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 rows you have, and then you're creating 10-15 pivots for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pivots. It doesn't matter, right? But still, I'll show you. If you click on the yes, see what's gonna happen. It is going to pick up the pivot table 3 data which you have created here. Okay, so if I click on the yes, you know, this will show me all the pivots. You know that in our sheet 1 we created 2 pivots, so pivots have their name also. This is just telling you the workbook name which is coming with the pivot table sheet. 1 sign of exclamation and then the pivot table 3 and pivot table 1. So all the pivots have used the same data. I just go and select this. So in this way what happens, your intelligence, your Excel, this system, it does not repeat that data. I mean, it does not hold that data again in the separate somewhere in the, you know, your this in your the hard disk. Okay, that is only the difference. So if I click on the finish, you get the pivot there. You see that I have a sheet 2 and the pivot gets created. So this is also a cool option. If you want to keep that separate, you can keep that separate also, but from the functionality perspective there will be no change. Now what is the question? We're going to go back to the this particular question. So let me copy this and I see that now what is the question. So this is how it is. So you have the top 5 products in terms of their quantity. Now we need the top 5 products, guys. So first of all, the product has to be there. Now if I need the top quantity, obviously the product has to be here. Now you can't put them here, okay, because we don't want to put them in the filter. Now this is all the products coming. You know, every product is coming n number of times in the data, but it is going to remove the duplicate part. This is how, as I was telling you. So now what do you need? We need the quantity. So obviously you have to put the quantity here. Let's go and drag that. Make sure this quantity should be a sum. I don't want to, you know, count, because there is a difference in this. If I say that Ajay and Ajay, and this is a marks for Ajay 10 in the year 2001. This is the marks of Ajay in 2000, maybe 10, 11, 13, another, and this is 44. If you go and see that what is the total sum of Ajay, obviously you will sum them, which is 84, right? But if you want to see how many times Ajay has appeared, you will count it, you know. So that the same thing is coming there. So make sure this should not be count, because I'm not interested how many times the arrow root is coming in my table here. If you go and put the filter here and you want to count how many times the, you know, arrow is coming, maybe you can use the COUNTIF, right? So if you just go here and click on this arrow, you find that it's coming these many times, 55 times. Okay, 55 times is coming, but I'm not interested in the count. I'm not interested in the count of it. I'm interested in the count of in adding the basically the quantity, not in counting the quantity. Because if I say that what is the count, you see that the count is 381, but I'm not here to count it. I want to count the, I want to sum, I want to find the total is 22,374. So no problem if the count is coming. I already showed this. You go to the, you click on this arrow, value field setting, and then you're gonna change this to sum. So finally you have the sum of the quantity, and look at this, guys, we got it. Now let's go to the analyze. Let's go and the design. You want to give it a color. Well, this is just a small pivot, I'm not interested, but anyways, let's just give the color. Report layout, make this tabular form. Okay, fine, we have the, now the pivot gets created, but we need actually the top 5 products, right? So if you want the top 5 products, the first thing which you have to do, if you want the top 5 products, okay, because right now, you know, they are coming in the different order, neither ascending nor I think that descending order. So what you do, you sort this data, you go here in the sum of quantity, you know, somewhere here, maybe on the top of the cell. How we sort the data? We go to the data and click on the sort, or there is a shortcut key as well, Alt DS, all up to you. You click on the sort. What do you want? Because I want the top values. So top values means you definitely need the top item on the, you know, you need the item, the product having the maximum number of quantities on the top, so largest to smallest. Look at this, guys, the pivot is sorted now. Okay, now it does not mean that if you sort the data, only the quantity header will be sorted. Of course your product will also be sorted, the complete row will be sorted. Now this is where we can say that, all right, so we have got all the products in the sorted order, and what a fabulous business is done by these products, carrot and chocolate chip and arrow row, you know, and the further, right? And what a poor performance by the cheese and the banana, and then, you know, the other items. But now the question is, how you gonna show it top 5? Because this is coming so many items. Maybe in your data you may have 50 items, 100 items. You don't want to see that. My question is top 5. Once you have sorted them, what you will do, now see this, we will go here in this product, we will right click here. Okay, we will right click here, and then we will go here, we have here option called the filter. Okay, filter. So this is the option, we say top 10. I click on the top 10. Now we don't need the top 10, so let's go and reduce it to top 5, or maybe let's say top 3. That's all up to you. Okay, so you have the top, you can also go and check the bottom. Okay, so we have the top 3 items. Now these top 3 items, you can see here items, this is going to be decided, this is going to be shown in the top order by what? By sum of quantity. If you have, let's say, more headers here, let's say you want to see the quantity, you want to see the turnover, you want to see the turnover in 2001, 2002, 2003. So you can imagine here you will have all those headers. So that's where this drop down comes handy. So I want to right now just select the quantity also. So just go and click there and look at this, guys. Right? So you have the top 3 products. Ideally I should have chosen the 5, but that's okay. Now you see, this is very interesting. If you go and tomorrow, if you just go and do some changes, let's say I go here, and what I do is this is my, you know, whole wheat. Okay, now I'm gonna make this whole wheat 7,000. I'm increasing this, suppose. Okay, now when you do that 7,000, just right click and refresh. Look at this, everything you have already sorted it out. The pivot knows, you know, that when I have to refresh, I have to use the new data. So the changes, if happens in the pivot, they will start showing here automatically. So you have the whole weight in front of you. So this is how you can have the top 5 product performances in terms of their quantity, right? This is how it is. So let's go to the next question now. So I go and insert the sheet number 3. This is this way also you can do. Let's go and create all DB. Next, where is the data? This is where my data is. Now I'm gonna tell you something again interesting. Every time I have to go to the data, you know, and select the data, why can't we go ahead and use the name managers? I told you this thing. Name managers are very useful, and if you remember, we can go and create them from the formula, from this name manager. Click on the new, or maybe we can do one thing, we can select the entire table and we go here and we can write the name. So let's say I write here p range, I press enter. Let's make sure that it is created. You can see that pivot p range is created. So now next time when I create the pivot, guys, I go in the all dp, next I just write here p range. Simple. You know, p range refers to that data. So click on the next and then finish. There we go. Simple. This is also one of the way. Okay, now let's go and see the question number 3. Very important. Quarterly performance on quarterly performance of cities quantity wise. So I control V here. Now, you know, every data has a, so when you work on the data, obviously you have the years, you have the dates, you know. Sometimes you have the dates, you don't have the direct years, but you can extract the years from the date by using the year function. By using the month function, you can extract the month. You know, we have already seen those date functions. So this is the same thing we're going to do here. Now quarterly performance is, you know, in your data you don't have any quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3 coming, right? Though I can put the extra header here and I can say that if the date is between Jan 1st and March 31st, then show here the quarter 1, and then so on. So I can use if and if, you know, multiple ifs I can use, but there is no need because in the pivot we have this direct option. So first of all, what we have to do, you see that I'm going to put my date here. This is my date, quarterly performance I need, right, of the city. So the first thing which I will do, I'll put the date here. Okay, now for the time being, just forget about this option because right now you see I'm already have started getting the months, but there is no month in my data. They are the dates. Why it is coming? Because of my some settings. So I just go and change that. This is your actually original data, you know. So when you drag the date, this is how your date should look like. Okay, now once you have the date, what do you want? You want to see the performance of the city. So let's go and put the city after the date. So you have the cities now. Okay, so once you have the city, what do you want to do? Well, you want to see the quantity. So what quantity basically we are getting from the city and on which date, you know, quarterly actually, not the date. So anyways, I'll put the quantity here. Make sure you should not keep this as count. I go and select it as a sum. We got it. Now I go and select the pivot. Let's change their headers. Design, layout, tabular form. This is how it looks like. Now this is not really a good way because you have so many months here and dates here, and every date has a total also. The first thing which I want to do is maybe I can go and remove the subtotal, you know, like this, right? Now date wise it is fine, but I'm not interested in the date wise. Now what you will do, guys, in the date section, if your dates are stored as numbers in your data, not as text, because I told you in the date session that dates are always stored as number, but due to some, if you're bringing some outside data in Excel, or maybe due to any text formula you're applying, you know, and if you are going to change the date to a text, this option will not work, remember. Okay, so I right click here and I say that group. When you click on the group, this pop-up will come. And now what I will do, because I need the quarterly performance, I can click on the quarters, uncheck the month. If you need the year, quarter, month, day, everything you will get it. First of all, I'm just only interested in the quarter. You see that I click OK, and what will happen, automatically your quarterly performance is coming basis the date. So Excel pivot intelligence is so strong that it's going to pick up all the dates and it's going to convert that date into quarter. This is how it is, right? So we have the quarter 1 performance, we have the quarter 2 performance, quarter 3 performance. If you go and check your data according to the date, you know, you find the same thing. Right now you don't see the dates because you don't have the date here, but what if I need it? Right click and group it. What if somebody wants to see that? So in quarterly performance, what are the basically the months they are covering? Generally everybody knows, but still you want to show it, no problem. You can keep this as well. Click OK. Look at this, guys. In the quarter one, you have the Jan, you have the Feb, you have the March. In the quarter two, you have April, you have May, you have June. In the quarter three, you have July, August, September. You have quarter four performance. Everything is there, right? Now, in your pivot, if in your data, if you don't have November month, obviously you won't see the November month, right? But this is data, I have prepared this data, so I have kept all the months. That's why you're able to see it. But don't expect that quarter four by default will show you all the months. No, if you have a data there, if I remove the November month from the pivot, you won't see any November data here, right? It's but obvious. I hope there should be no doubt in that particular thing. Now this is important. One more important thing that so what if you have a different year, because then you don't want to mix up the things, because who knows quarter one is from which year. Right now your data has only 1 year, you know, so that's okay. But if you have a different years, then Jan should not be a part of just the quarter one, but year should be important. So again, you can go and right click and say that this group the option. So you go and say that year also I need. Let's say I need all the things, guys. Days also. Look at this now, how the pivot gonna look. You see that 2003, in the 2003 we have the quarterly performance. If you just go down here, you see that the grand total, there is no 2014-15, but if it is there, it will show in this pivot. So this is very nicely, you know, built up, and you can see all the performances. Now let's say if you just want to show the, you know, the subtotal, you can go to the design, you can click on the subtotal, and you can see that show the subtotal. You see that this is how the subtotal will start coming. So basically when you select this quarter one, you have the total for everything. You have the total for the dates as well, which is not looking good because, you know, it created the date wise total. Then I'm sure it, look at this, the month total is also there, and after the month total, I'm sure you will find the you see that quarterly total is also there, right? So quarterly is good, month is also good, but the date is not good. So what we can do, we can simply go and I think we can go and select this, and this total we can select, and we can see that design do not show. Let me check that. Okay, now you see that this is gone. Let me go and put the freeze pane here. Let's go and check that. So in the data, in the review, no, in the view option, I click on the freeze pane. Now see this. So I scroll it. This is how the freeze pane option works. So just go there, and so we have the performance. I don't see the quarter total as well is coming, so it's, I think, getting removed from this. So let's go and so only the grand total is coming. So there is no, basically the quarterly numbers are coming. The quarterly total is also, it is removed with the date total, right? So anyways, that's okay. If I click here in the Jan, and I say that go to the design option and click on the subtotal. Okay, yeah, so it's creating a problem, right? So that's, let me undo it. So that way it's not gonna work, I guess, right? Now you can also create the pivot in this way. For example, if I just click on this button, you see all the dates are one by one. I can just shrink these dates as well. I can collapse them. Instead of doing this, you know, what I can do is I can actually go here in the analyze option, and we can use this expand and the collapse option. So if I say expand, you see everything will be expanded. If I say collapse, you see in one go all the dates are done. I can't see the now what is inside the date. So if I click here, you see I have the cities coming here, right? So I guess this is not a good presentation, because my cities should come first, and I think then the date. So you have to think, you know. So I click on the field list, and you see when you group the date, automatically you have some more headers: year, quarter, month, and order date. They are not actually in your data, but grouping has done that. So I think what I should do is I should put the city maybe before the date. So you can do that, just drag it here. Okay, so this is how it is. I think this looks better, much better, right? So in the Jan month, what is the performance of the Boston City in the quarter one, you know? That's all. Or maybe now I'm thinking that why don't we go ahead and, you know, create this city maybe on the top of the month, you know. Let's go and check that. You see that? So I mean, this is all up to you what you want to do. Or maybe you can just put the quarterly performance also after the city. This is also okay. So you can go and put the year as well, or maybe you can put the year here, you know, that would be good. This is how it is, right? So years will come here, or year maybe you can put on the filter. I think that's much better. This is also okay. So you have the Boston City quarterly performance for the year. You have to select the year from here in this way then, right? Because if there are some more years, you have to go and make sure you should be on the correct year. Okay, otherwise I mean, if you don't want to do that, as I said, that you can keep this option here as well. So this way you have the Boston City performance in the 2013 in the quarter one. Okay, so I go here and I say that just, you know, collapse this. This is fine. Let's give the user the pivot in this way, and let's go and tell them that look, if you want to check their numbers, you can click on this collapse also, like this, right? So collapse and expand. So again, you can also click on this. I mean, that's okay if you're just interested in quarter one performance. You see that what is the quarterly performance in the Jan, Feb and the March. So date on date is also coming, and then you have the total as well coming. Okay, and if I just go and try to create the design and I say subtotal, let me click on the subtotal. Now you can see that I got the month wise total. Very nice. Now there is no day total coming, so that basically was the problem with the structure. Okay, now it is looking cool, wonderful. So I have here now the quarterly performance also. You can see that now if I select this, my, you know, all the performances should be selected. For example, what I'm saying is that let me first expand this. So we go to the analyze, expand this. Okay, now I go and select this. Okay, I click on this quarter one, and you can see quarter two is selected, quarter three is selected, everything is selected. Let's go and give them the color called maybe this color, white font. Let's make them little bigger in this way, you know. Yeah, that's how you can do that, right? And for the rest of the pivot also, this is a good pivot, so we must give it a good color. Maybe you can use this color. That I leave it to you how you want to do it, right? So I go with this one. That's how it is. If you want to give the color to these sums, these months, just select that. You see all the months are selected. I will keep the font same, but what I'll do, I'll just give it a maybe this color, this one, right? So this way, this is how the pivot looks like. We can go and remove the grid lines also. We can freeze this. Freezing is already done. So now you have the perfect data, right? So if you're interested in looking at the Boston, Los Angeles only, you can go and uncheck that. If you're interested in the Los Angeles data only, you can go and check that, guys. So you'll find all the years performance, right? And if you're not interested in the date, for example, no problem. If you're not interested in the date, select this and click here in the analyze option. Just, you know, this collapse this way, right? So this is how. If you don't want to see the month, you only want to see the quarter, select the quarter one and click here. So this is basically expand. I should click on the collapse. This is how it is. If you want to expand it, click here. It is expanded. That is how it is. If you just want to, you know, keep this year only, just go there and click on the collapse. You see that, right? This is how it is. Now, you know, one thing now which I want to tell you, very interesting, that sometimes people find this collapse and selecting the data from the filter very tough, because mostly the management, you know, they may not be knowing the Excel. After all, they are not the MIS experts, right? So in that case, what you're supposed to do, we have a slicers. We can create this uh, slicers on this pivot. Slicers means filters. This option I guess is not available in 2007. Okay, I'm sure. In fact, 2010 and 2013, 2016 are applicable. They introduced it in 2010. Wonderful option from the reporting perspective, and you can create the very good dashboards also. For example, now what I will do, I will go here in my insert tab. In the insert tab, I'll find this slicer. This slicer I'm talking about. Click on this. This will give you the slicers. All the fields will come which are being used by your pivot. Now suppose I want to create the month on month and the quarter on quarter performance. I want to create these slicers, and one thing important, city as well. I want to create it. This is very important. Just go and do that. Click OK. You see that, guys, the 3 slicers are created for you. Now you see the power of this. Basically now you or anyone, they don't have to click on the Excel filters. You can control the entire pivot from these slicers. How? By default they are all activated. I want to check only Jan. Click on the Jan. You see that? What happened? This pivot, look at this pivot. All the Jan, only the Jan is selected. Rest nothing is selected. You want to check maybe in the Jan, you want to check only for the Los Angeles. Click on the Los Angeles. Look at this, how easy it is. I can fully control the pivots from these quick slicers. You want to check for the New York as well. Look at this. Press Control key and then click here. Both the options will be selected. You want to check for the Boston as well. Control key and then click here on the Boston. You see that? You got the Boston, you got the Los Angeles, you got the New York, everything. You want to check the 2-month performance, Jan and Feb. Just Control key and click on the February. So you have the February data also coming. This is how it is. If you want to remove the filter, just click on this clear filter. Clear filter means that all the options will be selected. Again, only Q1 performance, no problem. Look at this. You got the Q1 performance, only the Q2 performance. Look at this, only the Q2. But I want to see Q2 performance only for the May month. In the Q2 performance, I have 3 months, but I'm interested only in the May month. Look at this. But I want to see only the Boston May month performance in the Q2. Everything is there. Okay. Of course, you can resize them because this is looking little nasty. So what we can do, we can first of all quickly go here. Select this and reduce the height of this. Let's keep it like this. Okay, and try to place them somewhere where the user can handle them. So I go and maybe I can put them here. I can put them here, and I can go and reduce the width. This is how I can do that. This is how I can put them here. Okay, and you can also do one thing. You can move them in 4 different columns as well. Just right click here and go to the size and property, and in the size and the property this window will come. So here click on the position and layout, number of columns. So you can create the 2 columns. Look at this, guys. This is also okay. You want to create 4, you can create the 4 as well, right? So you can also increase the height and the width, button width, for example, from here like this. So I think this is cool. So we can keep the slicer like this. That's it, right? Like this. You can reduce the, again you can do furthermore. This is okay. Yeah, that way. Okay, maybe you can keep the 2 option. This is also cool, but then you have to just if you have the 2 columns, you have to make it look like this. So it is all up to you how you want to do it. So this option we keep it here. Okay, I further go and reduce this, and now let's go and talk about the month. So in the month I go and first of all I right click, size and property, let's go and convert this first of all into maybe these many months, right? So we go, and you can also reduce the height from here, these buttons, or from here, that's all up to you, right? So this is how I think this is fine. So we can go and put that somewhere here, you know, or maybe here, that's all up to you how you want to do that. So I go and put that here, and I go and reduce the little height of, no, I think we should not, that's okay. Similarly, you go and put this quarterly performance, guys. Let's reduce the space. So I go and reduce this, and I go right click and I click on the size in the property, and I go and say I need let's say 4 quarters, you know, maybe 4 quarters, let's say. So you have to go here, you can increase the button width, you can also increase the button width from here also, that's all up to you. I think this is perfect, so we can do this way as well. So let's put this on the top, right here, you can put that on the here. This is how we can do it. And you can also you know, in this option we can give these all different colors. I can give this, you know, this sort of color, I can give this maybe a different color, I can go and not much options, but that's okay if you just want to kind of, you know, change the coloring part. Well, keep all the, I think the colors same, that would look great, right? So this I leave it to you. But finally, when your this dashboard is done, so when you're going to send this file to somebody, you know, you will create all this pivot, these all the slicers, you know. So I put this quarterly performance here, or maybe here, that's cool. Okay, you can bring some image, you can import some image from some outside, you know, like go to the Google and search for the images. If it is a HR dashboard, get some icons, you know, you can place that. So there are many videos on my YouTube also under the playlist called Art of Making Dashboards. So you know, see, there is never ending process. You can go on, and learning is like never ending process. So the more videos you will see, the more you read the things, you know, the more learning you will get. So it's never ending thing. So this is how you're now you know, these people, they can go and use these all the filters from here. Okay, so I quickly go and I can quickly review my entire data from here. This is how it is. Q4, you see automatically October, November, December are selected. Anytime I want to remove the filter, you can remove the filter. Okay, you can tell your user also, because he may not be you know, not be knowing about this. So you can put here maybe a kind of icon or shape, you know, you can say that this is basically your this particular option, you know. You can write here, you can put some picture here, and you can say that this is to clear the filter, right? So this is how, guys, you can create the different slicers. Slicers are very important. Okay, what is the next thing I want to talk now? Let's go to the question number 4. So question number 4, okay, what is the question number 4? The question number 4 is top 3 cities in total price. Well, I guess by now you will be able to do it. So I say total 3 cities in total price. Let's go and quickly create Alt D, P, Alt N to go to the next P range, and you can directly click finish also. You already know this, so this time I create no. I want to create a separate report. Top 3 cities. I drag this city here. Total price, this is my total price. Make sure it should be on the sum. This is done. Let's go and sort that out to see the top 3 in the descending order, obviously. So I go on the data, I click on the sort. I want to sort it largest to smallest. The data is sorted. I go in this row label, I right click here, I say filter me the top 10 items, filter this to top 3. Since I don't have any other header, so that's okay, I'm okay with that. This is how the top 3 cities would come. I go to the analyze option in the design option. I can convert this to the tabular form. Basically, tabular form is more useful when you have more headers. Like in this case, if you look at this, the field list, you have one header after another header, city, year, quarterly. So what happens, tabular creates the separate columns. But if you have already one header, tabular will not be such a good option. Just what it will do, if you just click here, you won't see any change except for the name. The name is changed to the city. That you can do manually as well. You just have to click on this and you can go here and you can write here city. This is also okay, you can do that. Okay, so we have got the top 3 cities. Let's go and talk about the question number 5. So question number 5 is top 3 cities between 2nd Feb and 2nd March. Interesting. So we have now specific dates here. Between 2nd Feb and 2nd of March. So that means we have to use the date, obviously. So let's go and create the pivot, Alt DP. You can also use Alt N because N is, you see, underlined. I can press Alt N as well. Alt N will take me to the next window. And then I can go here and I can write P range, which is my name manager, and click on the finish. Alt F also you can do. So there we go. Now once we have the date, so I'm just going to write here the dates, or maybe I can put the dates here this time. I'll tell you the reason. Top 3 cities, I put the cities here, and so top 3 cities between 2nd Feb and 2nd March, but in terms of what, this is so let's say in terms of quantity. Okay, in terms of quantity. By the way guys, you can also show both the things. You can put both the things here. Let me put the quantity also on the sum function, so you can see both the things as well. As such, there is no rule that you can only have one thing. No, you can put as many things as you want here, right? So let's say you want to see the top 3 cities basis the total price, or maybe let's say on the total quantity. So if you want to see the top 3 cities on the quantity wise, because it may happen that Boston has the maximum number of quantity but its revenue is less because the price which we sold, that was a very cheap one, right? So it may happen. So here you have to understand what you are doing. So if I have to sort this data according to the quantity, I will not select this area, I will select this and I go to the data, or I can press Alt DS, this sort window, and I say largest to smallest. So now the entire row will be sorted. It is already sorted, so maybe we are not able to see that. That is the first thing, but it is there. Now you want to see the top 3 cities, so obviously you go here and you say top 3 cities, but before you do that, you have to also make sure that it should be 2nd Feb and 2nd March, between 2nd Feb and 2nd March. So you can go here and you can see that select multiple items and you can uncheck this, and then what you do, you start seeing where is your 2nd of February. So 2nd of February and between 2nd of March, I think this is the 7th February, 14th February, 21st, 28th, and then we have that's it, because this is the 7th of March. So these are only the dates, rest all the dates are not in that range. So you can make sure you select the dates like this. So now pivot will capture the dates only between these dates, right? So once we are done with that, you go here, right click here, and you say that I want to now filter this top 10 items. Instead of the top, obviously I can go and write 3 also. Now this is important for you, sum of quantity or sum of total price, right? Obviously, because I have to sort the data, I have to see the top 3 cities according to the quantity, so I make sure my selection should be sum of quantity. So this is how it's gonna show up. So this date concept was new to you, right? This is how you can do it, right? Now very interestingly, you have already selected the dates here. Okay, now let's say if you want to change, or management says that they also want to see the dates, what all dates are coming in your data. If they want to see the dates between 2nd and 2nd Feb and 2nd March. So dates are already filtered on the top. You have done that, you know. So what you can do is maybe you can go and put the date here. Look at this. What a fantastic feature. You will see only those dates which you have filtered, which you had filtered in the filter area. All the dates are not coming. So sometimes this is also very interesting, you know, that when the people click here, when the people drag this option here, they do it, but they don't know that why we don't have all the dates coming. Because if you just put this order date here and you filter the things, you know, and then you go and put that thing anywhere, maybe here also, if you just go and put, you see that okay, so now look at this. You find here only the 4 dates, these dates, right? First, these are for the quantity and this is for the total, because you have the 2 headers. So if you can show the pivot in this way as well, guys, this is also okay. Double click here. This is how you can do it. Okay, so if I just click here, you see quantity is highlighted. So maybe we can give it a different color as well, if you just in case want to show both the things, you know, little different. So maybe you can use some different color. For example, maybe this sort of color you can use. That's okay. How I did that? I actually clicked on here. You see this border, I went to the border. So if I want to give a quantity color, the price color, I click here and the quantity will be highlighted, and then I can go and I can, you know, maybe give them the different color, this color, let's say. I mean, that is how it is, right? So this is how people will come to know. And of course, this you don't have to show that this to the user, you can hide it. That's how the pivot is going to look like, right? Put the filter here, the freeze pane, and then when you scroll it here, you will see all the things, right? So this is the total quantity, this is the total price. If you just go and sum this is going to come as 1915. If you just going to sum this, it's going to come 839. Row wise also happening, the column wise also it is going to happen. If you calculate the sum of this, you see that you have 536. So this way, I mean, that's how, you know, you can create the pivot. Or maybe you can go and choose some design also. I can go and use this design as well. That's okay. It's all up to me what I want to do, right? So this is how you can play with the pivots. If you don't like this structure, as I said, you can quickly go and let me just copy this, Control A and Control V, and let's go and right click show field list. Let's put the date here also. This is also okay, just in case if you are interested in this particular thing. Okay, so you have the total price. Change the font, change this font to black, paintbrush, right? Well, I will not, as I said, that I will not really like to go and choose any design, you know, my own color I don't really like. So I will go and, you know, first of all clear the template, and then I just select this and I go in my own color. How I'm gonna remove, I say no fill, and I click here and no fill again, and then maybe I choose something from the Excel template, you know, like maybe sort of this color. Well, that depends, you know, what you want to do, right? So this is how you get all the things, and make sure your header should be coming here. It should be actually white. So finally, when we have this option, I will go and create the design option, and I'll make this in the tabular form. Perfect. You need the total, yes, keep it. You want to make them maybe a different font, let's say you want to give them Arial black, all up to you. You want to give some different font, it's all up to you. So this is how you can do so many things, right? Now what is the next question? The next question is on the pivot. Create category wise comparison between Jan through March 2013 and April through June 2013. Okay, so we want to show the comparison. So that's we can do it. We can create the two pivots. So we have already created the pivot, so let me just go and or maybe let's go and create it again. So I go here, Alt DP, Alt N, write the pivot, P range, Alt F, click on the no. Let's keep the separate pivot. Now here comparison between Jan and March. So first guys, I have to convert this date into group. Okay, since we have already done that, you find the months coming here, right? So we got the months here, and now we need the category wise comparison. So category means this category. I'm just going to put this. I don't need the date, not at all. So I remove the date from here. I only keep the month. If you want to do the comparison month wise, and if you have a different years, please make sure you show the years also, because this is going to be Jan, so Jan can be of any year, right? Since we have only 2013 data, I'm showing it only the month wise. Okay, so I have the category here, and the category, so let's say the quantity we want to show it. So let's go here and click on the sum. Now you see the month is coming. If I click here, if I just click on this plus sign, I have everything coming, but it is not actually expanded. So the moment I do that, this will be expanded, right? And if I click on the collapse, that's there, right? But we definitely want to show this. Okay, so obviously I go again in the design view and I make this tabular form. Right now what I want the Jan and the March performance. So I'll make sure that I should be Jan, Feb and March, selecting, right? So finally when we have the Jan and the month Jan through Feb performance, rather than reworking on the same pivot, I create a copy of this, I paste it here. Okay, and then what I will do, I will just simply go here and I see that I need only the April, May and June, and there we go. So finally we have the all the month on month performance. This is also how you can create the pivots and showing the comparison to the management. You can remove the grid lines from here. If you want to show these slices, as I said, you can create the slices also. Again, go in the insert, click on the slicer. So let's create the slices maybe for the or not for the month, but I'm interested in only the category. So I go and click on the category. I have the categories coming here. I put them somewhere to the left side this way. Okay, so I keep my this one here. You have to adjust this, put them in the proper order. They should look beautiful also, right? So you can move the pivot on the left side and just you can put this option on just to the very left side of it. So like this I'm talking about, whatever way suits you. So the moment I click on the bars, you see I have the bar. Similarly, click here and let's create the slicer for this category. So you have the another slicer. Let's put that slicer here. Maybe you can give both the pivots different color. That would be good option, So I go and say this is a different color, this is a different color, and you can choose the same slicer color also from here, sort of this. Yeah, so if you have bars here, you have bars here. So now you can quickly see the performance. You don't want the total, you can remove that, but I would like to keep it, So let's just go and give this a little color, maybe this one. Let's go and give some color to this. Yeah. So this way, guys, cookies. Remove all the filters, yeah, so slices we have already done it, right? So this is your pivot part which is completed. Pivot charts are also something which you can create. We will talk about this, but they are not really so important. In terms of because you have already seen how the charts get created. So pivot charts in fact are nothing, let me show you in fact, rather than covering it in the next chapter. So suppose you want to create the pivot on any of the pivot. This is the pivot, and let's say this is a pivot having a date and all that stuff, or maybe I go here and create a fresh pivot. They are very simple. So let's say we want the performance region wise and the city wise. Let's say for the quantity, right? Instead of the region, I keep the category also. For example, this is how it is. And now you go to the design option and the tabular form, right? Pivot is created. Now insert pivot chart. Which particular chart? Column chart, line graph. I choose this, column chart. I click OK. Now see this. This is how the pivot chart gets created. So if you have a good pivot coming, the chart will also be good. I mean, sensible pivot means sensible chart. Now, interestingly, what happens when the pivot gets created, these buttons also get created, which normally in the other charts you don't find. First of all, let me remove this total. You want to give some title? You can. I just remove it. I remove the grid lines as well. Select the grid line and remove that. Now, if I want to see, the region only for the east, look at this, guys. I can do the filters from here. This is how you can play with your pivot. So in the east, I have Boston, I have New York. So I can do that. This is not just happening in the pivot. This is happening here also. This is also automatically controlled, Same way, if you put the west, pivot will also show up. This chart will also show up. So that is how you can create all these things, right? If you do not want to, so let's say I want to see only Boston. Boston is available only in East region. So you see only Boston for the East region. If it would have been available in the different region, you could have seen the comparison. Okay, that is how it is. So let's say I want to see New York. So you have the Boston, you have the New York in the east, and if you just select that, west is already there. So in the west we don't have this. So that is how it is, So maybe you can do one thing. You can go and hide this, and you can send this chart to somebody, and they can do all the things here without knowing that actually the pivot is also working. And instead of this, so we don't need this, right click here and say that hide all field buttons on chart, hide field value field button on chart. So let's click on this, not on all the fields. This is gone. This looks much better now. This is your pivot. You can go to the design. You can maybe, if you want to use some different color, you can use the different colors as well. That's all up to you. This is how, right? So you can do this sort of thing also. And I think if I just right click here, move to end, move down, move to legend fields. So if I just go and click here, let me see what's gonna happen. No, I don't think so. It's a good option. Just keep it here only. So this is your the pivot, having all the things in front of you. You can go and now do all the, people think that this is a VBA, in VBA, I mean, of course you can do that. VBA after all is a tool with which you can exploit anything in Excel, so there is no comparison between VBA and Excel. But I'm just telling you, without just using the pivot charts, many people, they do this in the dashboard. So what they do, they make the pivot charts and slicers. So with the slicer, the data also changes, and at the same time pivot also changes, and people think that, oh wow, this is such a incredible work. I mean, it is a good work, but if you see it from the amount of the time, the duration you have spent, it's nothing. How much time we have spent on this chart, though it looks great, So that is how you can use these pivot charts, right? So normally I create everything on the VBA, but this is a good option for those who do not know the VBA.